Hi, I'm Mitch Gallagher. Welcome to Sweetwater's iOS Update. This week on the update, I've got a MIDI interface for your iOS device and an app that will let you manage everything that's going on with your band. Let's dive in. Our hardware accessory this week is iRig MIDI from IK Multimedia. Now this is a very simple MIDI interface, plugs into the dock connector on your iPad, your iPhone, or your iPod Touch, gives you MIDI in and out. It also gives you a MIDI through so you can connect another device to this. And it has a charging port here where you can connect a charger for one of your iOS devices, and it will charge your iPad, your iPhone, your iPod Touch while you're using the iRig MIDI as well. iRig MIDI comes with the basic MIDI recording app. It allows you to capture a single track at a time. You can record in Omni mode where it captures all the channels at once, or you can set it to a single channel and use it basically as a MIDI sketch pad. It does have some functionality that allows you to control what's going in. You can filter notes, you can filter continuous controllers, system exclusive, but it's basically a straight ahead MIDI sketch pad. To use the MIDI recorder app, all you do is hit the record button, play your instrument, stop the recording, and then you can play back. Very basic, straight ahead, but again, great for capturing MIDI ideas. iRig MIDI is compatible with any MIDI device. I have it connected here to a synthesizer. You could also hook it up to a foot pedal and control your guitar apps from it. It also works with pretty much any app that you want to connect it to. I have it connected to Nordbeat here, which is a very simple step sequencer for MIDI, basically. You can also use iRig MIDI to connect an external controller and to play apps within your iPad, or your iPhone, or your iPod Touch. Works just like a keyboard, so this is a great way to be able to use the sounds that are within your apps on stage or in the studio or when you're practicing. What I really like about the iRig MIDI is that I don't have to use the Apple Camera Connection Kit in order to get MIDI signals in and out of my iOS device. You simply plug it in, hook up the MIDI cables, and you're ready to go. So it's a very fast, very easy to use MIDI interface that works with all the iOS devices. Our app this week is iBand Manager, which I've been finding incredibly useful for managing what's going on with my band. Let me show you some of the features that this app has. To begin with, iBand Manager is a database that lets you manage all the information that goes along with your band. For example, you've got an About screen here, you can have the name of the band, where it's located, all those kinds of things. But as we scroll across, you can list the members, you can add contact information for those members, you can put a bio in for the band, you can have a variety of notes that you can put in there. So you can store a lot of information. You can also email directly from this, so if you want to send an email out to the members of the band about a rehearsal or something, you can do that right from within iBand Manager. So very convenient for managing all that contact information and all the background information on the band that you're in. Now you can also have set lists that are associated with each band. So for example, I've got a set list here for a jazz gig. It's got a couple of songs in there. Now for each song, you can put in what the tempo is for that. There's even a tap tempo function, so you can tap in the tempo that you want. You can link it to the song within your music library inside your iOS device. You can play the song every time you select it, so it calls up and it automatically begins playing. And it will do that again with the metronome as well. You can do a variety of other things as well as far as working with the set list, putting them in order. It tells you what the running time is of the entire gig when you use that set list. And you can have different set lists that are associated with different bands. And they can each have their own individual songs in there. And of course you can have all of the different settings for those as well. You can have notes for each song, so they tell you what effects to turn on and off, is what I've got going on here. So lots of information. You can also load in a chart for each song. So when you call up a particular song, it'll call up the chart that you want to go with it. And so it can really be a central repository for everything that goes along with gigs for each band, as well as all the information for the bands. So a very useful app to have in your iOS device. Thanks for joining me for this installment of Sweetwater's iOS Update. Be sure to tune in next time when we'll be learning more about how to make music using iOS devices. I'm Mitch Gallagher.